for chat working this morning. Now, let's refresh the page. Share. Post. Hey, good morning, Kristen. How are you? Thank you for the note that you sent me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, today's your birthday? Happy birthday, Kristen. Happy birthday, Capricorn season. Did you see the Capricorn reading last night? Is that what's going on for you, Capricorn wise? Can you tell me, did that make sense to you, that reading? It seemed kind of like, I know it's Capricorn season, so I was expecting it to be a little less intense, but it seemed like an intense reading. Is there stuff going on for you guys right now? Can you verify or deny what is actually going on in the world of the Capricorns? Because y'all had like the Tower and the Devil. Not that these are necessarily bad cards, but they're just like real, like big change. Real, like sort of internal work, real deep, like, I don't know, shadow work or facing one's demons, so to speak, and trying to work through it. I do see by the end of the month for Capricorns it evens out, but I'm just wondering from my Capricorns, was that accurate? Sometimes when I do these monthlies, because I'm tapping into such a good morning, Jen Nichols, and with leaving it back there, okay, cool, that's fine. It just felt like this month is all about sort of letting things go and letting it fall to the wayside and tearing it apart, or not tearing it apart, but the Tower has that kind of you gotta let go or be dragged sort of feeling to it. So I don't know. It might not have been specifically for you per se, but I was just sort of surprised because this is your guys' time, but maybe it's also your guys' time to share, like shed and really move forward. Because it was also the last forecast of this month, and so I was surprised that it seemed sort of so intense. Um, Everybody else, was not normal per se, like, but I can't even remember them all to be honest. But Capricorn just stuck out in my head because it kicked off with the Tower, and then the foundation was the Devil, and it was sort of like belief in oneself and all of that stuff was really being pushed through. Hold on, I'm screwing up where I'm sharing to. One moment, guys. So today is the last day with Paul, last full day. Tomorrow's a travel day. So I do have the day with Paul tomorrow for at least half of the day. We get up early and we're going to be flying all day. I feel funny. I feel like I already miss him. I don't like when I feel that way. I'm trying not to focus on it. And when I mention it to him, he says he doesn't want to go back to Florida, which is painful for me to hear. So, he's safe there, and that's really the best place for him right now. And so I'm not mentioning it anymore because I don't think it's fair to him. I haven't mentioned it for a few days, and I'm hoping that tomorrow moves smoothly and we just sort of go to the airport, get on the plane. He may figure it out as we're, laying over in Houston and stuff. he may figure out that he's heading back to Florida at that point, but um, I just feel like I'm like not telling him the full truth. Like I feel like I should prepare him, but I think it's better for him to just sort of realize in the moment so that he doesn't fret or worry or try and say, I'm not going back, I'm not going back. This is harder work than I thought it was going to be. It's not, I'm not unthankful for having done it, but it just brought up a lot for me, and I think, you know, maybe even for certainly my mom and just maybe even Paul for that matter, you know. It's been a lovely visit this morning. I just put football on for him. I'm just sharing while people come into the group. I put football on for him. He likes to watch football. He doesn't really care. He cares more about which teams it is, not necessarily whether or not he's seen the game before or not, because I'm pretty sure he's watched some of these a couple of times over at this point. But typical male, right? Loves football. This morning, one of the games started off with the national anthem, and he started like singing along with it in the way that he sings. I was kind of amazed because you could hear him sort of make certain words out, like "rockets, red glare." You know, he was like he knew the words. I was like, "Whoa, Paul, get it? Good job, buddy." So that was sweet. It's gonna be different coming back here without him here. You know, I don't know. We'll see. I'll be okay. I'll just get back into the swing of things. And I just want to say a big thank you to all of you that have listened to me throughout this week, who have supported me throughout this week, who have touched base with me, sent me notes, sent me words of encouragement. All of that has been of great use to me and of great value, and has made me feel a little less alone in this experience. So thank you very much for that to all of those of you that have been just even tuning in and paying attention and watching. These mornings right now are my only sort of aside from calling Ducky and my I've spoken with my aunt I think once, twice maybe about Paul, but this is my only like sort of adult talk outlet, and it feels a little bit one-sided in the sense that I feel like I'm kind of talking to myself, even though I see your guys' comments. Jen Nichols says, tell me he's a Steelers fan. He's a fan of any team that's kind of playing. He changes his fandom quite often. One minute he's a Gators fan, the next minute he's a Cowboys fan, the next minute he's a Alabama fan. Right now he's huge on the Oregon Ducks. But that's just this morning. He's all about watching the Ducks game. So we're watching it. He's in there watching the Ducks game. We just had breakfast. And so he changes. So he might be a Steelers fan come next week. I don't know. And the funny thing is I don't know enough about football to know what his information is accurate or not. Like he talks about hurt players coming off the field. He talks about which teams have good defense. And I don't really know this stuff. I have no point of reference. So I don't know if what he's giving me is accurate information or just something he's remembered from the past. But then this morning, the interesting thing is like he'll do things like he'll point to a picture of Chewbacca in his coloring book and go, that's my dad. And I'll go, oh, okay, that's your dad? And he'll say, yeah, and then I'll say, who's that? And I'll point to Han Solo, and he'll go, that's me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he has these moments where I don't know if he's pretending or playing or if he's being serious or not. But then this morning we were sitting here at breakfast, and he said, you pet a whale? You pet a whale? And I said, yeah, I pet a whale. I told him this story because he loves whales, about how when I was a little kid, we were at Marine World Africa USA, and I got picked out of the crowd to stand on the ramp where the orca slides up on the ramp. And I stood there with the trainer, and the orca slid up on the ramp, and I petted the whale. And so he remembers that from me telling him that back at Thanksgiving, I think, because we were talking about whales and things like that. So hold on, I'll be right back. So this morning in my cabinet, going to, I had gone to a Abraham Hicks convention a couple of years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and this was one of the gifts that was on our seats in the morning, and it says whale being, WHALE, like well-being, but whale being, it's kind of like a joke, and this has been kept in the cabinet of mine with my angel statues and stuff. I just sort of use it as like, it's a reminder of that moment for me, of that magic of sort of getting the opportunity to touch such a big and majestic animal, even though I know that now it's not really cool. I've watched Blackfish, I get it, but this was back in the 80s. Um, but I've kept on to this whale just as a reminder. So I gave this to Paul this morning, and he grabbed it and he petted it and he said, "Oh, hi whale, hi baby whale, I love this whale, I love this whale." So I want him to take this with him so that he remembers not only me but also the story, and it seems as though he does. So his cognitive stuff is there. I just don't know exactly when he's tricking me, not tricking me, but when he's joking and when he's not, when he's being serious, when he's not. It's there's this learning curve, I guess we would call it. I'm gonna put this back in his room really quick just so I don't forget to pack it with his stuff. I have to say this. It's really weird when you can fall in love with a complete stranger so completely. And I think that some of it has to do with his cognitive issues. I think that there's something so pure about him and so beautiful about him that it makes it really easy to love him. And I think that that's some of the emotions that I'm going through this visit and what I went through when I was with him at Thanksgiving. Is it's sort of like I feel like Paul in some way has reopened my heart in a way that I don't necessarily know or thought would happen. And I think I'm a little bit afraid of that. Um, so, like, I'm grateful for that, but I'm also like, whoa, like, it's just sort of like, I feel, he makes me very, very happy when I'm around him, but it's also a lot of work. And so, it's been an intense week of visit for me personally, not for him. He's been fine. But I've just been kind of rolling through all of these like things of these emotions. Like he goes and he hangs up his little coat on the coat hanger by the door, like he knows where his coat goes, and it's just weird little cute things like that. They totally touch my heart. And these are not bad tears, guys. They're just like, I didn't see this coming. And I mean that like in the sense of like maybe a few months ago if you told me this was going on, I would have said, no way, you're crazy. And so it's just funny how life can sort of bring us to this place of, you know, total shift and change, and how we relate to it really is how we experience it, right? And so, there have been moments where I've been in like tons of fear around it and freaked out and anxiety. And then there's been moments where I've been absolutely like feeling levels of joy that I haven't felt in a really long time, and almost like frightened that I can't sustain them or that I can't be enough to be able to take care of that or maintain that, if that makes sense. It's weird. Anyways, enough about me. Let's get into you guys. So around here we do 3 breaths every morning to kind of ground ourselves and bring ourselves back to center. So the idea is we want to drop a grounding cord either through the chakras in our feet down into the center of the planet, or from our first chakra at the base of our spine down to the center of the planet. Just allow for that to happen. Acknowledge that that's happening and intend for that to happen. You don't have to force it or any of that. You're going to take in 3 breaths. At the top of each breath, you're going to hold that breath, and you're going to begin to emanate a light. This light is you. This light is your spirit. This light is like all sort of, imagine it as being all powerful, all knowing, unbreakable, stronger than anything you've ever dealt with, brighter than anything you've ever experienced, both good or bad. And it is the culmination of everything that is your spirit, right? The lifetimes, the experiences, the knowledge, the connection to everything that is within the universe, right? We're going to expand that light on the first breath. And as we exhale, we want to exhale any negativity, any sort of low vibrational energy, anything that no longer works for us, doesn't resonate with us anymore, doesn't belong to us. Just allow for it to go. We don't need to know what it is, we just need to release it, right? After we release that breath, we want to give thanks to the body. Just give gratitude to the body, the energy of gratitude and thanks, acknowledgement, a present time hello to our body. Just saying, hi, I see you, and thank you. On the second breath, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take in that breath deep into the belly, hold it, expand that light even further, and we are going to continue to ground. And when we release that breath, we want to release any more tension, any mental energy that we can let go of, anything that's plaguing us or worrying us. And then we want to give thanks to the mind, right? For all the work that it does, the endless, tireless worrying, doubting, overthinking, solving of problems, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. We want to be grateful for it, right? We want to connect that mind and that body, those two components of ourselves together in support and equality with one another, right? And on the third breath, we're going to do the same thing this time, expanding that light even further to the outside edges of our auras, all the way around us, above us and below us, right? Pull in your edge of your aura just to about maybe whatever feels comfortable. It only needs to be anywhere between 5-10 feet away from you. It doesn't need to be super big. When we throw out our aura super big, we tend to be in a need to control stuff. We don't need to control this. We're safe with this, right? As we release this third breath, we want to give thanks to the spirit, to that light that's emanating around us, to that all-knowing, ever-present energy that is us, that is within us. We're acknowledging it, we're giving sort of validation to it, and we're allowing it to sort of become part of our experience more and more each day that we do this exercise. And we can do this exercise throughout the day, right? It doesn't have to only just be in the morning. But if you would like to join me, please plant your feet firmly on the ground. Close your eyes and just get comfortable, sort of let your shoulders settle. I like to bring my hand to my body, to my heart chakra, just to kind of remind myself that my body is here in this present moment, to bring my attention back onto my physical body in the present moment. And let's take in that first breath through the nose, deep into the belly. Inhale with me now. And hold. Expand that light and allow anything to just easily slide down your grounding cords. Allow your chakras to come into balance and adjustment with one another. Exhale that breath, letting go of any tension, any negativity, any worry, fear, doubt, low vibrational energy that you no longer need right now in this moment. Giving thanks to the body for its physical presence in your life, for all the work that it does for you. Remember, we created this body. This body is not our enemy. It is our creation. And we continue to create with it. We need to acknowledge that and come into alignment with that through gratitude, through grace, through ease. Let's take in that second breath and hold. Emanate that light out to the outer edges of your body, to the tips of your fingers, the tips of your toes, the top of your head. Just allow it to spread all over. Align those chakras and release that breath, letting go of any other tension, mental worry, anything that doesn't belong to us that we no longer need. And giving thanks to our mind for the powerful, like, sort of supercomputer that it is, right? For the thoughts, for the dreams, for the hopes, for the fears, all of it. We have to acknowledge all of it, be in gratitude to all of it, to understand and to work with all of it, so that we can make it sort of come in alignment with us and with our body seeing those two components come in support and alignment of one another, and embracing that and being grateful for that today. Let's take in that third breath and hold. Emanate that light all the way out to the outer edges of your aura, all the way around you, above you, and below you, healing all of the space around you, owning it, claiming it for yourself. You have dominion here. Finalizing any adjustments with your chakras, seeing them in balance and in perfect alignment or in ease of alignment for today. Releasing that breath and allowing anything else to just go right down that grounding cord to the center of the earth to be healed. Thanking the Spirit for everything that it does, both seen and unseen. For the times that it's carried us through when we thought we couldn't do it. For the knowledge that it holds that maybe we're aware of, or maybe we're not quite yet aware of it. But acknowledging how capable our spirit is. Bringing that spirit into alignment with the body and the mind. Seeing it in support and equality of those with those two components. Giving each three component equal amounts of love, respect, and gratitude. Acknowledgement, validation. Seeing them in harmony and balance. And just sort of feel that for a moment. Breathe that in. Take a few breaths here. As you ground in this feeling, you make this feeling a vibration in your body that you send out to the universe. And this vibration is powerful magic. And it brings the same vibration back to you. It attracts the same vibration of balance, feeling whole, feeling supported and loved. And when you're ready, open your eyes and join me back. Hi guys. Good morning, Kelly Talbot. Good morning, Regina Javit. Good morning, Sherilyn Rockefeller. Good morning, Jamie Taylor. Good morning, Jessica Farley. Yes, Jennifer, can you imagine when you were in Mexico stressing about the construction and now look where you are? I know. It's a different kind of construction. I'm stressing over now. It's more of an internal construction than an external. But I know that I understand why I left Mexico was because this was about to happen. And I think that I needed to be back here to deal with this. And even though my mom and I are sort of not speaking right now, or we're fighting, I think that I was glad to be here when this happened and when this came about, because even though she may not believe it, I was trying to support her. And I was trying to experience this with her, not against her. So I am glad that I came home for this, because I think that this would have been kind of, I don't know, maybe it would have been easier if she was left alone to deal with it herself. Maybe, I don't know, I'm confused, to be honest. But let's not bring that confusion into this. We're doing, for today, Spirit, for the collective, take myself out of this reading, please, and place everyone in that's viewing both now and into the future for today, Sunday, January 5th. What do they need to know? What is for their highest good this morning, Spirit? I'm excited you get to watch this too, Jamie. We've missed you. Good morning, Lisa Rockefeller. How are you? Do I have two Rockefellers in here? Were they a good 3 breaths, Kristen? Kristen over on YouTube says, woo! Those were a good 3 breaths. I know, they felt good to me too. That's the way we want to be working this stuff. That's the way we want to be connecting to this. Even if it's only for 5 minutes a day, that 5 minutes sends out an intention. That 5 minutes sends out a conscious sort of awareness of the present moment and what we're creating. And if we even just get close to that vibe and get it set as our set point, we can create magic from there. I believe. I'm working on creating some of my own right now. All right, let's see what the cards have for us. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera, guys. Good morning, Ducky. I haven't even said good morning to Ducky. I'm sorry. I just jumped on, and normally I message Ducky beforehand. Good morning, honey. I love you. Thank you. And I'm gonna flip the camera really quick. Okay, so our first card is the Page of Cups. I love this was totally the Ducky card, actually. He's got his cup of coffee. So, what I love about this is an otter. And otters, to me, I don't know a whole lot about otters other than that they're really sort of friendly, playful, spiritual, like familial beings, right? That you don't see otters ever hanging out lonely, right? This to me feels like it being the Page of Cups. Cups obviously dealing with the element of water and the emotions. There's some things that we get to learn about emotionally, right? And this is also, remember, this is our Sunday reading, so this is not only the reading for today, but also the reading throughout the week. So it's kind of the underpinning energy also for the theme for this week, right? So keep that in mind. We're looking at this as not only just for today, but also we're giving it a little bit extra, this is the beginnings. Does that make sense? This is the forecast for the week, the beginnings of which will start today. So our first card is this Page of Cups. It is this lovely otter, and he has this warm cup of coffee, cocoa, whatever you want it to be. But what I feel like is this is about coming in. I love this golden light around him. He feels very at peace with sort of his emotional self. He's drinking himself in a way. He's sort of bringing himself, learning about himself or herself, let's say, and learning about maybe what it is that feels good emotionally, what it is that feels right emotionally, what it is that they want emotionally, and knowing that too. I love this little blossom. I think it's a lotus. Let me just look. It is like a little lotus. Do you see that on top of the otter's head? And to me, that's right at the 7th chakra, which to me is your knowing, right? Your clear cognizance, which is your clear knowing. So this is about an emotional connection to your spiritual knowing, is what I feel like. And it being a page card to me feels that there's an excitement and an enthusiasm. There's a youthfulness to this card. Otters have a lot of energy. They're very playful animals. They're also very family focused and sort of social. So this is not about like sort of hiding or being withdrawn. This is about sort of maybe spending some quiet time alone to sort of contemplate how you feel emotionally, but also staying connected to the outside world and knowing where your place is, how you want to feel, how you want to get there, if that makes sense. And I also feel like some of this emotional awareness that I feel like is in this cup is comforting to me. And maybe it's the golden hue of this card, but it feels very much like we will be glowing in who we are in the early part of this week if we pay attention to our emotions and we honor them and we acknowledge them and sort of work from a space of kindness, because otters to me also come off as being very kind. Another thing that I'm thinking of too as I'm looking at this otter is, you know how when an otter gets in the water, their fur is so dense that the water doesn't penetrate to their skin. That's how they're able to swim in such cold water. To me, this otter feels like that's sort of its defense in a way. It's like we don't necessarily have to let this stuff get to us emotionally. We can like use our thick pelts or our thick fur to allow ourselves to navigate situations this week that we might not necessarily feel like we know how to navigate emotionally, but we will be able to do so successfully because this otter is not only in its own knowing, but it's also just naturally coming from this place of peace and compassion. I don't know why I'm feeling that with this card, but I'm definitely feeling this sort of golden and peaceful energy coming from this card, which I did take myself out of this reading, but after seeing this card, I want to be back in it. But That's what I see for you guys in the first few days of this week. So keep that in mind, keep centered, keep calm, let your light shine, trust your knowing, and enjoy that, embrace that. Now, the midweek card is the Nine of Wands. Wow. So here we have what appears to me to be willow branches. There's little buds on all of these branches here. And this feels a little bit, I'm getting two vibes off of this card. I'm feeling a little bit closed off in this card. Some of this feels like a protection or a defense, like some of us might be putting up a fence by midweek. I'm not exactly sure that all of us are, though. Because I'm also getting this vibe from this card that these buds are about to flower. There's a spiritual flowering that's happening. I'm not sure, is this an egg? I don't believe that this is an egg. This might be like a moth's nest or something sitting here on this branch here. But it feels like midweek something new is going to transpire. Something new is going to break open. That's what this white thing is here. If it is like sort of a moth or a butterfly's cocoon. And I also feel like these buds are getting ready to flower for some of us. But we might need to protect that a little bit. Not from a place of fear, but from a place of sort of you know, how do I want to say this? Like honoring ourselves in such a way. That's this beautiful pink ribbon that's wrapped around this too. To me, this feels like us honoring ourselves, bandaging ourselves, making sure that we're okay and that we're ready for this new change to take place, or this new sort of idea, spiritual energy to kind of come forth and either rebloom or be reborn. Does that make sense? So keep that in mind around the midweek. Now, this, like I said, this is a broad spectrum reading for a lot of different people, so this could be something different for each and every one of you. One of you, it could be around a career situation. Another, it could be around familial situations. Another, it could be around romantic situations. But whatever it is, this Nine of Wands indicates that there will be growth. There will be a spiritual sort of expansion that's happening. I see that both in this this little nest that needs to burst open and these flowers excuse me, these flowers that are about to bud on these willow branches. I'm interested in looking up the sort of natural magic presence of willow. I don't know why, but if willow has any sort of healing properties, because I have a feeling that it might. I feel like intuitively the hint that I'm getting right now is there's something to do with witchcraft and willow branches, and that's part of this too for some of you. And I know that some of y'all are old witches, like your spirits have been doing natural magic for a long time. That's why we were going through all those witch decks prior to October and all through October. I know some of y'all have lived some of those more natural magic lives, and some of you need to look up the idea of what willow represents. But it's also, not only is it like a fence or a protection, but it's also an opportunity to sort of shore up and get ready for the new birth that's going to happen, or the new sort of expansion that's going to happen for you guys in the midweek. Now, the end of the week card, wow, is the World. Okay. The World is similar to like in my normal deck that I use, which is the Universe kind of card. The World is sort of coming to meet us. When I talk about this cocoon here getting ready to be opened, this is the seed, or the um, uh, the acorn, so to speak. This is like sort of the seed of this beginning here. We start to, by week's end, we start to see the reality. We start to see the fruit of our labor. We start to have the our environment meet us and give us the gift. This is a oak tree acorn, I believe, and they have also very spiritual significance in the ideas of strength, personal strength. I'm trying to remember everything that an oak acorn. There's a Celtic symbol of the acorn that if you look it up, Google it and read about it, there's that connection is to this also. I'm sorry, I'm not drawing a blank because I'm in 3 different places right now. I'm kind of trying to rush through this because Paul's in the other room. But this seems to me like from this tiny, like the story is, from this tiny seed, a tall oak can grow. A tall, mighty, strong oak can grow. And the world wants to give us that. right? The world wants us to be that. We may feel like we're starting anew by week's end. We may feel unsure of ourselves, or we might feel small, diminutive, nervous that maybe we can't pull it off. But this acorn here says to me that indeed we can. And it is powered by the world, it is powered by our environment, it is powered by our belief in ourselves. So shore up that belief by midweek, bandage everything up, so to speak, or wrap it like in a, I almost want to say like in a spiritual bow. And in preparation for this seed becoming real. Like when we did the 3 breaths this morning and I talked about sitting in that feeling for a moment and allowing that feeling to sort of permeate your body, and when you do that, you sort of set out that energy into the universe. This is sort of the setting out of that energy, because from this small seed can become this beautiful giant oak tree, right? We can grow in any way we see fit, any way we want to, any way we choose to, as long as we sort of allow ourselves that freedom and protect ourselves and sort of ensure that we give that to ourselves. Does that make sense? Willows. Okay, so for those of you that aren't on YouTube, Ducky's looked up willows. Green, like the leaves on the branches, symbolize nature, fertility, life. It also represents balance, learning, growth, and harmony. Our image of the willow tree represents the strength, stability, and structure of the trunk, standing firm and withstanding the greatest of challenges. And see, to me, I feel like these are branches of the willow tree, right? They're budding branches. So I feel like there is growth happening here. There is newness happening here. There might be a little bit of delicacy that's happening in the midweek, right? Where we feel a little bit delicate, that we need this sort of fence of protection. But that's fine. Give yourself that and allow that sort of honoring of the self to come forward. Because by the week's end, this world card, it is major arcana. It says like a significant change can come about. The seeds of that change will come about at the end. Sven's touching the keyboard, sorry. The seeds of that change will come about at the end of this week, but it will be the beginnings of something rather significant. That's what I feel like. And I'm looking at that acorn, okay? And then let's see what the I Am Everything deck wants us to think about. And if you guys could share this video out, I'd greatly appreciate it. Any shares, likes, comments, subscribes, it all helps. So this is the I Am a Gift card. We saw this card, I believe, last week even. It's back again. We saw it on Thursday the 2nd. I am a gift. I am a gift to the world when I lead with kindness and love. That's this otter, guys. And this is, not only are we looking to the outside world and leading with this sort of peaceful and emotional love, but we're also like sort of not engaging. We're not allowing ourselves to get caught up, but we're also loving ourselves here with this 9 of Wands. We're sort of protecting ourselves and acknowledging our own gifts and what we deserve too throughout this week. So let me continue reading. I create a ripple effect that benefits more people than I'll ever know. My presence, my knowledge, and my passions contribute to the greater good of the world. I am a gift. So kind of keep that in mind. I feel that with this otter right out of the gate. This golden color around the otter, the peacefulness of the otter. The otter sort of like, he's sort of like sitting there sipping his tea going, really? Like, he's not necessarily outwardly saying like, look here, stupid, but he's maybe taking things in and acting from a place of his own knowing. That's the lotus on top of his head, where he maybe isn't necessarily engaging. He's learning emotionally how to maybe just pause and take it all in and look at it, and then from there begin to build by the midweek with that 9 of Wands. Because the preparation is for that world card, that acorn, that gift to sort of come forward. So, the grounding, oh shit, the grounding stone this week, the cat's like pawing at the bag. The grounding stone for this week, for this morning, and also throughout the week. This is the idea that we want to hold on to throughout the week, coupled with all of the other grounding stones we're going to see this week. I love that this came out. It's on a piece of rose quartz, which definitely resonates with the fourth chakra, the heart chakra. And it also reminds me of that pink ribbon that we see in the center 9 of Wands card. Come on, stand up for me, babe. Harmony. So, where this all ties in, I feel like not only is this about our fourth chakra harmony, where we're emanating our light from, right? But there's a harmony here that I see in this otter, where the otter's at peace and sort of watching everything carefully, knowing where it's, how it's feeling, sort of sipping on its cup and acknowledging what it knows to be true for itself, not necessarily trying to prove it outward to anyone else. And there's learning and there's sort of experience that's happening here that is sort of peaceful and enabling us to grow. We have this sort of 9 of Wands, which is this spiritual protection, this spiritual sort of, this pink ribbon makes me think of this pink stone down here, which is that heart energy, that sort of wrapping ourselves in our own love, in our own acknowledgement, in our own validation to prepare us for the seeds that are really coming from the world. A seed of strength, a seed of power, a seed of growth, a seed of great improvement in whatever area of your life you're looking for it in, but you have to believe that it's there. You have to acknowledge that you deserve it, and you do that by realizing that you are a gift, that you are valued, that you bring value to your life, that you bring value to the lives of others, that you have gifts and capabilities and know-how to share with others that enables you to make their world a better place and in turn your own world a better place. And all of this needs to be done from this heart-centered space of harmony, with this idea of harmony, of being in sync, in alignment, in balance with not only the people and the environment around you, but also within yourself. And I think that part of that starts with that I am a gift card. It sort of allows us the acknowledgement. And now this is for today, to start to believe that we are that gift, right? But we also want to hold on to this card throughout the week as the cards progress, and keeping this idea of harmony and being a gift in our mind, in the backs of our minds, and as our focus for this week as we go through this week, so that we can have an opportunity to really bring forth the magic that I feel like is in that world card. Okay? So I hope that makes sense for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the forecast this morning. I don't believe there's going to be a forecast tomorrow because I'm going to get Paul up early and travel, but I may pre-tape one tonight. I don't know. So if I do decide to pre-tape one tonight, depending on how well I pack everything and how prepared I am for tomorrow, because I want to shower Paul and shave him and everything tonight so that he's ready in the morning. So there may be a broadcast if I tape it tonight. We'll see, okay? But no guarantees. If not, this looks like a really beginning of a beautiful week, and I will be back on, I come back tomorrow night, in the night, so I will be back online, hopefully the morning of the 7th. Alright? I love you guys all. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you again for supporting me throughout this week. I know it's been an emotional week. I know it's never easy to watch people be sad. A lot of you held space for me. I really appreciate it. That's all I needed, was just a place to sort of be me. So I thank each and every one of you for letting me do that. You know, we're all just human. None of us are perfect. None of us. And so none of us have all of the answers, you know, especially in our own lives. You know, it's real easy for me to dole out information to other people about, oh, do this, do that, do this. And then when my ass is falling off, or I feel like it's falling off, I feel a little bit inauthentic. But the purpose of this channel is not necessarily about me knowing all the answers. The purpose of this channel is about me serving a purpose and helping others to find their purpose, or helping others to find their connection to themselves, deepen it, explore it, feel stronger, feel more capable. And maybe I end up doing that for myself in the process with this channel, because you guys have certainly shown up for me this week over these last few forecasts and while I've been here doing this. So you guys have also given me a gift, and I need to acknowledge that you guys, each and every one of you, are a gift to me, and that I'm appreciative of all of you. So thank you so very, very much, and hopefully I get my shit together enough and get the laundry done and packed and everything that I can tape tomorrow, so that there will be a message for you for tomorrow. It just won't be live. And then I will see you guys the morning of the 7th, and then I get to go pick up my dogs. I don't want to come home and have my dogs not be here, but it's just got to be the way that it's got to be. Because I know I'm going to be lonely when I come back to the house. It's going to feel empty here. But that's okay. I can deal with it. I am a gift, and this is all about being in harmony with all of it, how it plays out. So I'm going to live in that today. All right, I love you guys. Have a great day. By the way, I don't know if you know, I did put up the Earth signs. Thank you, Earth signs, for being patient and going last. Thank you everybody for waiting on January, as they did come out a little bit late. The January monthlies are up for all of the signs. Let me know in the comments on the YouTube page if you guys like them grouped together. It's a little bit easier for me in a way, and I think it makes maybe the wall a little bit cleaner instead of doing a separate video for each 12 signs. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys prefer it that way. It seems less daunting too for me when I chunk them out into groups of 3 versus sitting down and doing, like, 1 sign, 2 sign, 3 sign, 4 sign. So I don't know. Let me know. Do your breath work anytime you want. Create it any way you want. Intend it to be how you want, and hopefully watch it happen. Alright? And I'm going to go practice what I preach. I love you all, and take care. I'll see you at the 7th. Bye. Thank you, Regina. They were awesome. She says about the... Thank you. If you thought they were awesome, please share them out, you guys. I need you guys, my supporters, my viewers. I don't know where you guys need to be sharing this out, but I need support from you guys to help grow the channel, because you are the guys that know about me, and you are the guys that are watching me regularly. So please share out these videos. Figure out how to press like and share and get these videos out to help grow my audience so I can continue to do this. I'm feeling a little bit nervous that if I don't continue to grow, that I may not be able to do this in this fashion, if that makes sense. I might have to go back to the real world and start working 8 hours a day and doing that sort of stuff. So please, any sort of likes, shares, comments, subscribes, please put the word out there. If you guys belong to any spiritual groups where these videos are allowed, please share them. And thank you all for your support, and for your views and for your comments. And I will talk to you not tomorrow, but by the 7th. All right, take care. I love you guys. Have a wonderful week, and remember that you be in harmony with everything as best you can. And remember that you are a gift. We, each and every one of us, are. All right, have a good day.